And Mind Crypto here. I hope we're all having a wonderful day, and the title of the video is I am not falling for it, are you? Please remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any further videos, and just tickle that little like. You'd be doing me a massive favor. Remembering, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and none of the information provided in this video should be a signal to buy or to sell. First and foremost, we look at the crypto bubbles. Rather green today, and as we can see, Quant is up slightly to $109 from yesterday, down 2 ranks to 54, with a market cap of 1.32 billion and a 24-hour volume here of $22 million. We're up 0.3% in the hour, up 0.9% in the day, and up 8.8% within the week. So all in all, looking very green, but as you know, it doesn't bother me. I'm looking long term. So we move over. We see a brilliant tweet from Tokenizer, a man of my own heart, looking at the data behind what's actually going on blockchain. This Quant wallet's accumulating like crazy. Another Coinbase 10 connected wallets on the move again with 4,467 Quant, which is nearly $500,000 withdrawn just yesterday. They've been hodling Quant since August 8th, 2023 and hold nothing else. Current holding 16,906 Quant. Something is brewing. Now, I've been looking at many wallets over the time, and many of the same wallets is what Tokenizer is looking at, and we are seeing accumulation of wallets coming from that Coinbase 10. Is there something going on? Well, something definitely is happening, and we are seeing it with our own eyes, and it's not just me, as we can see. And also, the widening between price and exchange reserves is taking place as well. We're seeing the exchange reserves down to 1.38 million, and we saw a net flow of minus 5,755 within the last 24 hours. So we're seeing lots of coins leave the exchanges, which is great. So we add that to the sentiment of what's going on behind the scenes. Something is brewing. Now, I believe something's brewing. If you look at the news and everything else that's going on, and we see this, Jamie Dimon, CEO, JP Morgan, says, if I was the federal government, I would shut down crypto and Bitcoin. So let's have a listen to this. And we're going to get to my point in just a moment.
Deeply opposed to crypto, Bitcoin, etc. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, and that is a use case. Because it is somewhat anonymous, not fully, and because you can move money instantaneously, and because it doesn't go through, as you mentioned, all these systems have been built up over many years, know your customers, sanctions, OFAC, they can get bypass all of that. If I was the government, I'd close it down.
And then we see this from Senator Warren says there's a new threat out there, it's crypto, and we can't allow this to happen. This is not coincidental. We'll get to that in just a moment. Within 2 days, we saw Jamie Dimon, we saw Senator Warren all boo-hooing crypto. Now, we know legacy is far worse than what's going on in crypto. And I think there was some stats, and I think there was a community note on one of the videos saying that actually we see this type of issue more prevalent within the current system. But let's have a listen to this.
There's a new threat out there. It's crypto, and it is being used for terrorist financing. It is being used for drug trafficking. North Korea is using it to pay for about half of its nuclear weapons program. We can't allow that to continue.
So there you go. We've got two rather large entities, Jamie Dimon, Senator Warren, all boo-hooing, mudding on crypto as we see it, but there's got to be a reason. So therefore, yesterday, what do we see? US passes bill to promote mass blockchain adoption. So what's going on here? The US becomes more competitive in applying blockchain tech. A related bill will establish whether cryptocurrencies are securities or commodities. A US House committee passed a pro-blockchain bill with unanimous support. If it takes effect, it will increase blockchain adoption in the country by tasking the US Secretary of Commerce with promoting its deployment. So this is all rather conflicting, massively conflicting. The Committee on Energy and Commerce passed the Deploying of American Blockchains Act 2023, a dozen-page bill aimed at promoting the competitiveness of the United States related to the deployment of use, application, and competitiveness of blockchain technology or other distributed ledger technology. Blockchain Association CEO Kristen Smith said it rightfully advanced the country's competitiveness in the blossoming industry. It covers a wide variety of actions the Secretary of Commerce needs to take if it becomes legally effective. These include drafting suitable policies and best practices and recommendations for private and public sectors in the process of using blockchain technology. So we won't go into this too much because as we're seeing here, we've got Jamie Dimon, we've got Senator Warren, and then we've got this passing of a bill. Then we see this. Now, this is a video that I saw from the Digital Asset Investor. And I think this is really important to understand the game that we are playing. And it's just keeping your head above water. And it says here, watch this, then imagine what these same Wall Street guys could do if they had a major US regulator in their pocket, crushing prices with crypto crackdowns for the next 2 years before allowing them to open Bitcoin ETFs. For your information, by coincidence, Gary worked at Goldman Sachs and had George Soros and Jamie Dimon meetings on his public SEC calendar. So let's have a listen to this. And this will connect all the dots on what's actually going on behind the scenes.
On September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. People listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
It says he'll fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
It's just, so unethical.
Right.
Okay, George Soros.
George Soros, in January 24th, price was already down, calls Bitcoin a bubble, says Bitcoin is the worst, the worst investment in the world. Don't buy Bitcoin. Don't buy Bitcoin. Basically, he throws gasoline on the fire at this point. And then what do we find out? So he says bubble here.
It drops 44%.
Right. And then here in April, 2 months later, guess what we find out?
Yeah.
His $26 billion family office has approval to buy cryptocurrency.
Right. And we only knew about it publicly here. And this is the kind of thing that George Soros is famous for this, talking the sterling down.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He stole the pensions of all the little people.
Yeah, made $1 billion.
Yeah. Okay.
So then here now, Goldman Sachs, this again, February 7th, most cryptocurrencies will crash to zero. Now, I remember when they said this in February, and I had, through my network, I knew that Goldman Sachs was setting up a crypto trading desk. Absolutely knew they were setting up a crypto trading desk. And
I remember you telling me that.
Right. And then, of course, they were denying it. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. Price falls down 27%. And then what do we find out? We find out here, they say BTC 0. And then we find out just before May, new trading desk. Not only that, they put $400 million to buy a cryptocurrency trading platform.
We see this from Cowboy Crypto. Gary Gensler's calendar hasn't been updated since March 2023. Here's a few interesting names on his March calendar. And this was back earlier in the year. We see here, meeting with Christine Lagarde, ECB, meeting with Larry Fink, BlackRock, meeting with JP Morgan CEO plus staff. Then we've got Andrew Bailey of the Bank of England. Then we've got the BIS. Then we've got Congressman Brad Sherman, back to Christine Lagarde. Then we've got BNY Mellon, Michael Barr, Senator Warren again, and then back to Andrew Bailey, Bank of England, Michael Barry, and so on and so on and so on. They're all meeting up. They all know what's going on. And us little people will find out at the end when everything has happened. And the whole saying is they will break it, then they will adopt it. It's essentially what's happening, I believe, in my personal opinion. And as we can see, the trail of FUD that will hopefully lead to adoption. Now, I posted a tweet last night. Yes, this particular video is quite old. It's around about 4 years ago by Blockchain Brad. So I say here, Gilbert throwing some A game. We're connected to all of them. They're already using it. Digital asset interoperability at scale. Wall Street, they're all in. By Gilbert Verdian. Now, some people say, well, this is old. It's 4 years old. But you've got to remember, legacy works very, very slowly. And they may not have adopted it right at this moment, but things are in play. So let's have a listen to this.
We're connected to all of them. So we don't have to go to 800 banks and institutions and trading houses and go, can you connect to us? Can you use us? Can you use us? They already use it. What we're doing is we're allowing digital asset interoperability at scale. For the first time, you can actually move stuff between 800 institutions.
What does it mean to have that first mover advantage?
You know, we're the infrastructure to enable this to happen. Our technology will be running if you think about it, Wall Street, will be running how institutions trade, will be running how people do settlements and stuff across networks, and how you can move a JP Morgan coin with a Wells Fargo coin. I mean, we can make that happen.
Do you think Wall Street are even aware of just how big not only the Quant network?
We're connected to all of them, so we don't have to go to 800 banks and institutions and trading houses and go, can you connect to us? Can you use us? Can you use us? They already use it. What we're doing is we're allowing digital asset interoperability at scale. For the first time, you can actually move stuff between 800 institutions.
What does it mean to have that first mover advantage?
You know, we're the infrastructure to enable this to happen. Our technology will be running if you think about it, Wall Street, will be running how institutions trade, will be running how people do settlements and stuff across networks, and how you can move a JP Morgan coin with a Wells Fargo coin. I mean, we can make that happen.
Do you think Wall Street are even aware of just how big not only the Quant network, but just this technology is going to be and how relevant it's going to be in the future?
Yes, they have recognized the potential. They've been looking at it for the last couple of years, thinking, what is this? Is this good for us? Should we look at it? Now that they see we're connected to all of them.
We hear it from GV himself 4 years ago. Now, people will say, well, that's 4 years ago, nothing has happened. But as I've said before, I don't think this removes from the legitimacy of what's actually going on. Things take their time. They have to get things into place, and we have to go through the rules and regulation and legislation before any of this is adopted by any legacy system. So there you go, guys. Just a quick update. I hope you liked that video. If you did, please share, please like, so you can help others view this video via the algorithm. All the best, and I'll catch you later.